Sooner or later everyone is in front of the bank doors with outstretched hands and hope to change your life but get away from. Only the one who can become rich can become a banker. John Pierpont Morgan will be smarter than him. Do you know that in ancient times, bankers refused custodian on holy ground because they were considered incredibly greedy and crafty people in our time? People still treat with distrust in the banking system and its employees, although the financier and one billionaire banker John Morgan believed that if a person learns all the working secrets, banks will be able to use them for personal enrichment. Of course, such information is hard to find online. If you listen to financial advice, such people from Mardon welcome, then you can take on armament several useful for your purse. Recommendation therefore not miss your chance to know the truth and become richer. Watch the video. Welcome central to the end of the channel. Millionaire notes. Want to know about money all? Then rather subscribe. John Pierpont Morgan was born into a family owners of a large banking house. Jesse Morgan's company, now to many probably thought that his story, the success, I'm connected with the multi-million-dollar by inheritance. However, the young one also thought so. John, because he was very sick and lazy kid, but his father is Julius and had a completely different outlook on life and believed that the son must surpass him. Starting his journey from the bottom at the age of 16, Morgan said goodbye to money, and lived on own loaves first. John Morgan worked as a clerk for several years and diligently saving money for investments. Having collected the amount of $63, and he managed to buy shares of a Pacific company and even make money on them, but already through half a year the guy lost on his investments of about $1,500. Morgan had to climb into bank debt to continue investment. His next step was buying shares of Central Michigan Railway Company, which brought him 100% profit. He immediately redirects the money to John's trade. After all, the weapon on the threshold was a civilian war in the United States. Such a decision increased it income, but almost half of the earnings John took the bank to pay it back. Was an incredible lesson for him, which made it clear what area of business it is a goldmine with. At that moment, John Pierpont Morgan worked in banking. In the footsteps of his father, he succeeded surpass him and become one of the richest people of the 20th century. Morgan is still called the father to this day. The progenitor of the banking system, he was able to make people believe that the banker interested in enriching the client, though you pursue your commission only on personal financial interests. What other tricks Jonah Pierpont Morgan while bankers still since use, and how do you like it? Earn more. I will tell you further. A banker is first and foremost a seller. Once in the bank, you immediately become purpose of his employees, because from your further decisions will depend his earnings, in that case beneficial to help you realize useful financial transaction for him. The main thing is to sell you services that cost a pretty penny in the bank, called integrated banking service, checking or savings account, credit card, bond valuation, mortgage loan, and other rubbish, which is slow but effective. Sucking tenge out of you is the main trap. Bank's main income banking sector today is forming a turning point. Commission. The moment came in the late 90s when income from disputes grew to more than half of the income of the largest banks. Most people, including your banker, they will tell you that the bank is making their money from the interest he receives from customer loans, and given how the commission is important for income from it, Stein emphasizes, and most often they hidden and at the time of removal insignificant, but in the cardholder level calculation, commissions can reach 6 figures values per year. Therefore, it is worth carefully learn all the intricacies of using bank cards. Moreover, commission payments are not always displayed in internet banking, so the cardholder may long time to ignore them. To see hidden fees can be in the detailed banking account statement. Theft without warning is required to notify each customer of changes in tariffs and conditions for providing services. Information of this kind can be simply posted on the site or the stands in offices. By the way, such behavior found not only in banks but also in management companies. They raise commissions like this funds or drastically change the declared. The increasing direction of investment. So sometimes it is possible to accidentally discover that the fund investing in the wrong place. Invested at the time of purchase. To investors, big doesn't mean best. Sometimes big banks hide from their customers the fact that their smaller competitors were better to approach their customers instead of that. They will focus on convenience, have a lot of friendly staff wanting to serve you. All these people. Publications are very expensive. Keep afloat. This cost is one of the reasons why banks need to tighten their models. Lending and increasing their commissions, in contrast, are less. The bank has a narrow market and does not pay attention to expanding. This allows them to charge the minimum payment for the full range of provided services of the same quality. Risky investments. To using the wisely. Banks exclusively as brokers. Open a brokerage account with a bank. Buy the necessary securities personally and without paying the bank advisor dues for their bad advice. However, here too, a novice is waiting for a lot of underwaters. Stones, for example, a bank can easily connect it to the tariff with payment in 0.03% of each transaction. If you say the exact bank where he shows miracles of greed, the bank will immediately offer the same tariff but with a commission 20 times lower. Airport taxi scammers act in a similar way. They raise prices by only 5 to 10 times. Finally, when connecting a brokerage, the bank account manager can take your money and transfer them not to a brokerage account and in the mutual fund of the bank. Carefully read papers before signing them. Managers have this sales plan to be carried out. Experience and knowledge are more valuable than money. We live in the world, any financial move can turn out to be a fatal mistake for you, but John Morgan's example shows that analyzing your failure. Make more money. Of course, the banking system is not ideal, and if you expect to earn with, you need to get serious about studying only the financial side of the issue, but also legal, so that later be important. Also choose the right bank. In this case, Lordly will not look at the packaging but concentrate even the smallest details, like the courtesy of employees should be nice. Bonus: describe a factor. It will be much more difficult for people who need the idea today, this financial instrument, and will most likely be, because to use it correctly, very difficult, and get for it here. Conditions in general impossible, but being careful and attentive to him, you are guaranteed. Future millionaire. It's about time for a little dream. Write in the comments too. First will or having $1 million. It will be interesting to know your plan. Air with you were surprised you